अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरू श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
Thank you so much, Gayatri Mataji, for that beautiful manga charan. And thank you, dear devotees, for joining today's session. We continue this beautiful book, the Srimad Bhagavatam. Such a beautiful opportunity to hear from devotees. I see I praise Panchali Kar Mataji SB. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please accept our humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much.
I can't. It's probably my laptop, Prabhuji. Can you hear me properly? Because I'm not able to hear you properly at all. So, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Gayatri Mataji. Is the Mangalacharan done, Prabhuji and Mataji?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And for sincere apologies for joining in a bit late. Thank you so much again for giving me the opportunity to do service. My apologies in advance because I didn't get much time to prepare for the lesson today. So if there are any contributions from any of you, please, I'd welcome that. So
recording in progress.
Thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to do the service of Srimad Bhagavatam. I start my service today by paying my obeisances to my Guruji. Without his mercy, I wouldn't have been able to do the service today. My prayers to the divine couple Radharani and Krishna and to Gauranitai. With their mercies, hopefully I'll be able to say whatever they allow me to say for my own purification. And I seek mercy and blessings and guidance from all of you. If I'm going wrong anywhere, please do correct me. As I said, it was a bit of a rushed thing today, so apologies in advance. And I would welcome contributions and corrections from all of you. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 15, verse number 4 today. So shall I bring it up on the screen, Prabhuji?
Yes, thank you.
I can, yeah, okay, sure. Okay, so I read the text first. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Deva Deva Jagatatar Lokanatha Shikhamane Paresham Aparesham Tvam Bhutanam Asipa Bhavet. Translation: O God of the demigods, sustainer of the universe, head jewel of all the demigods and other planets, you know the intentions of all living entities in both the spiritual and the material worlds. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Because Brahma is almost on an equal footing with the personality of Godhead, he is addressed here as the God of the demigods. And because he is the secondary creator of this universe, he is addressed as the sustainer of the universe. He is the head of all the demigods, and therefore he is addressed here as the head jewel of the demigods. It is not difficult for him to understand everything which is happening in both the spiritual and the material worlds. He knows everyone's heart and everyone's intentions. Therefore, he was requested to explain this incident. Why was the pregnancy of deity causing such anxieties all over the universe? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna again. So uh, we are going to be discussing a little bit about continuing from the last chapter on the pregnancy of Diti, and then coming into this chapter around uh, uh, the demigods asking for advice and guidance from Lord Brahma. Now, this chapter is titled "The Description of the Kingdom of God." And in the previous chapter, we've seen how Diti and Kashyap Muni, they committed some unauthorized activity. They united in an inauspicious time. And we've seen how Diti was repentant about it, and even more so when she had that, because of that inauspicious union, she was going to give birth to the two demons, two really horrible demons who are going to cause havoc in the lives of other people and in society. And so because of that, we see in the beginning of the chapter, we also see how Diti held the embryo in her womb for about 100 years, not allowing the babies to come out in fear of what they were going to do to the world, to society, to people, and what destruction they would cause in people's lives. So she was trying to prevent that disaster. Now, now the world, we understand, as we know, in this material world, we are all, we've all seen that picture of how Maya Devi is holding that rod, and that rod has three strings, and how at the end of those three strings, there are all the jivas, and those three strings are being the three modes of material nature: sattva gun, rajagun, tamagun, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And so, not just the lives of the jivas, but the entire material universe is dictated, is controlled by Maya Maya Devi using these three modes of material nature. And so we see in the world as well, there are times when Sattva Gun takes over and there is more of goodness. And we see that more in the first Yuga, in Satya Yuga. And we see that decreasing day by day. And when we come to Kali Yuga, we see more of the mode of ignorance or tamagun taking over, dictating the age, which means not, the environment, the people, the consciousness of the people, the happenings in the world, all of that is dictated more by the mode of ignorance. That does not mean that the mode of goodness and the mode of passion are absent, but the mode of ignorance or tamagun is prevalent in Kali Yuga. Whereas the mode of goodness is prevalent, in Satya there was more of in the first Yuga, more of mode of goodness. But that did not mean that the mode of ignorance, the mode of passion was completely absent. And we see when there was the demons came, they brought about the mode of ignorance with them. And because, they had a great influence on the lives of people, on society, on the universe, on the planet at large. So at those times when, or rather during the presence of those demons, the mode of ignorance or tamagun would take, would become prevalent. And what is the sign of tamagun? It is the mode of ignorance. What does ignorance mean? It is darkness. Now, we read to one of the names of Arjuna, and we've mentioned about this earlier as well, that one of the names of Arjuna was Gurakesha, someone who has conquered sleep. Or in other words, when we are sleeping, there is darkness because at that time, there is no consciousness. We are not actively conscious. Yes, we have our subconscious mind, our unconscious mind is still working. But our conscious mind, we are not awake. So we have gone into darkness. Now we say Arjuna was given that name Gurakesha, not because he could just stay awake all the time, but because he had overcome that darkness which is associated with the time that we sleep, because that's a dark time. And so he had conquered that darkness. So similarly, when there is the mode of ignorance, there is darkness. Darkness is associated with the mode of ignorance. Now, these two demons, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh, they represent Tamagun, or the mode of ignorance or darkness, which corners or which covers the light of the mode of goodness, which is usually the case in Satya Yuga. And so they covered it. And the quality of these demons were to take, as was predicted, and as Diti knew as well, the qualities of these demons were to take over all the sattva guna of the age and of the whole world, and that would subdue all the sattva guna of the world. So even the lights from the sun and the moon, which we read in verse 2, it was said that the light from the sun and the moon got impaired in all the planets. And the demigods of the various planets, because the sun, because of the pregnancy, because the demons were already in Diti's womb, the darkness had started spreading, not just in consciousness, but in actuality. So the sun and the moon, the light that was covered. And we know the light of the sun comes from the effulgence of the Lord. and the light of the moon comes from the reflection from the light of the sun. So all of that was covered, and the demigods were being worried and disturbed. They asked the creator of the secondary universe, Lord Brahma, what was the cause of it, causing darkness and causing anxiety. And so we come into this verse where we see the demigods glorifying Lord Brahma, and they are basically talking about a few qualities of Lord Brahma. They say, first of all, they say, you are the God of the demigods. Secondly, they say you are the sustainer of the universe, and you are the head jewel of all the demigods in the other planets. And then lastly, they say that you know the intentions of all living entities in both the spiritual and the material world. So we see that the first thing that is said over here is that Lord Brahma is being said that you are the sustainer of the universe. Now, why is that said? So Lord Brahma, in the purport, it's mentioned that Lord Brahma is almost on an equal footing with the personality of Godhead. And that is the reason he is addressed as the God of the demigods. And so he is the Lord's incarnation of the mode of passion in this material world. So in many ways, he's non-different. He's the representative of this mode of passion, of this sense, from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so he's also the Guna avatar. Now, what kind of avatar is Lord Brahma? Now, we are mentioned, we are told in the Shastras that Lord Brahma and some of the demigods, or most of the demigods, including Lord Yamaraj, they are endowed with qualities of the Paramatma. They are Vidata. He's mentioned. He's addressed as the Vidata. And what is a Vidata? Someone who knows what to do, who's in charge, who can action things, and also not in their action, but also in their thoughts. So all the devatas, they are also sometimes called avatars, and they are given some qualities of the Vidata. Who is the Vidata? Vidata is none other than the Supreme Lord. And so Lord Brahma is said to be a Vibhuti avatar. If we look into our verse today, he says Bhavavit, where is it gone? So he said, Deva Deva, O God of the demigods, Jagatata, sustainer of the universe. Okay. And I think in the verse yesterday, it's mentioned. The word Vibho, which means the great one. So just trying to find if it's the word Vibhuti is used. Yes, I think it has been used. I'm just not finding the verse now. Sorry, just give me a sec. Yes, in the purport. That's what I was thinking. I've come across the word. Where is it? So in the last verse, in the purport, Brahma is addressed here as Vibhu. So he's one of the Vibhuti avatars. So what is a Vibhuti avatar? Now, an avatar or an incarnation of the Lord is a direct descent of the Lord. So it's a direct expansion of the Lord in this material world. That's an avatar. A Vibhu or a Vibhuti is where a jiva, a personality, it has been given or empowered with a whole lot of qualities of the Lord. So then they are empowered with some great qualities which is impossible for an ordinary jiva to do. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita as well that Brahma's creative power or creative energy is a primary vibhuti. So he is a vibhuti avatar, or also as sometimes known as Shakti Vaishya avatar. So he has been given the power, or he has been empowered to do the secondary creation. So the demigods, they are glorifying Lord Brahma, saying that, you are the greatest. And Prabhupada mentions in the Prabhupada that he's almost on an equal footing with the Lord. And that is the reason he's addressed as the God of the demigods, because none of the other demigods have been given that extra power, none of them have been empowered with the creative power of the Lord that the Supreme Lord has given to Lord Brahma. And so he has become a guna avatar. So Lord Brahma, is a guna avatar, whereas the other demigods, they are just devatas. So to become an avatar, one has to be empowered, one has to have some qualities of the Supreme Lord. And to Lord Brahma, the Lord gave him his power of doing the secondary creation, not completely, but to a large extent, to be able to do the secondary creation. And so he's said to be on equal footing with the personality of Godhead. Now, I was just listening to one of the earlier classes of His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj. And he was talking about a different topic, and he was talking about how one of the purposes of the Vedic literature is to bewilder people at times. And we think that, reading the Vedic literature, one would have more clarity, one would become more clear about what is there and, would understand things better. But in actuality, so many times it bewilders us. So if you read, we see the Puranas, for example, and he was explaining that, if you read the Shiv Purana, Lord Shiva is said to be the absolute, the greatest. If you read Vishnu Purana, Vishnu is the greatest. If you read Devi Purana, and the Devi Mata is the greatest. So it is how, or in what perspective these are being put across. Many say that Lord Shiva is the greatest. Many think Lord Vishnu is the greatest. Many think Mother Kali or Mother Durga, they are the greatest. But and there it's all true, Brahma is also the creator, so he's the creator. Lord Shiva is also the creator, because Lord Shiva is the one who carries all the souls. Krishna, or rather Vishnu, Karanadaksha Vishnu, expands into Lord Shiva to be able to touch Prakriti. So Lord Shiva, in a way, is also the creator. And Brahma, obviously, creating the secondary universe, is the creator. And Vishnu is the creator anyway. So they are not wrong in saying that, but it's understanding the actual perspective. So when we go to Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, verse 28, where it says, Ete Jamsa Kala Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So we have to understand that, yes, Krishna has many incarnations, many expansions in the spiritual world, many incarnations in the material world. But all of them, they all go back to that one person, the one Supreme Lord. And so that is what we have to understand. And this is the clarity which we can get from Sadhu or Shastra or Vaishnavas. So Maharaj was explaining that one might get a bit perplexed that why is Lord Brahma being said to be almost on equal footing with the Lord when Lord Brahma is actually Jiva Tattva. He's not even Vishnu Tattva. So why is he being said to be on equal footing with the Lord? And that is where we have to take things into perspective. That yes, Lord Brahma is being told to be almost on equal footing because he can do a task that is one of the tasks that the Lord does, that of creation. And although it is not the first stage creation, although it is secondary creation, but nevertheless, it is still creation. And the Lord has empowered him with this power, which he hasn't given to anybody else. And so even being a Jiva Tattva, he is still a Guna avatar of the Lord. He still has that equal footing because he can create. And so the demigods address him as that. Now, Lord Brahma, because he's the secondary creator, he's also being addressed, the purport says, as the sustainer of the universe, because he sustains it as well, and he's the head jewel of the demigods. None of the other demigods can sustain the universe. Lord Brahma, he creates, he ensures that, all the different forms are created so that the souls can take up the different bodies. So he's able to do all of that, which the other demigods are not able to do. And so he is also called the head jewel of the demigods. Now, we also know that Lord Brahma, he is the incarnation of the Lord in the mode, so the Lord's incarnation of the mode of passion in the material world. Everything has a personality. And so the mode of passion in the material world takes up the personality of Lord Brahma. He's the ultimate mode of passion in this material world. Who is the origin of all these modes? The origin all goes back to Krishna. So Krishna's expansion, or rather Krishna's incarnation of the mode of passion in this material world is none other than Lord Brahma. Now, when darkness dominates the mode of goodness, darkness, we understand it spreads. And any problems in the material universe that happens, the demigods, they go to Lord Brahma because he is addressed as he's the head jewel. And what does the jewel do? The jewel, a bright jewel, they spread light. They emanate, we see if there's it said, and Maharaj was saying that, he had heard in one of the classes of another Maharaj, where it was being said that some of the souls who merge into the effulgence of the Lord, not all of them, but some of them who merge into the effulgence of the Lord, they are very much attracted to that effulgence, that bright ray of the Lord. And so when they actually fall back into this material world, because it's impossible to stay in that state forever, because the soul's main work is to serve the Lord, and they are not able to serve the Lord when they are just one with the Lord. And so they fall back into this material world. And Maharaj was saying that, it's thought that sometimes these souls who fall, because they are so much attracted to this bright ray of the Lord, to this effulgence of the Lord, when they fall back into this material world, they take the shape, or they take the form of very, very bright jewels who actually emanate light, because that was their desire, to emanate light. So some of them actually take the form of jewels. But the demigods, knowing that Lord Brahma is able to shed light, he's the crust jewel of the demigods, they always go to Lord Brahma to ask for more clarity. And so over here as well, we understand they go to Lord Brahma to check why the whole world was being covered with darkness as soon as DT became pregnant. And because Lord Brahma knows anything. Now, we've seen throughout the Shastras, we've seen many other instances where we see that Lord Brahma has been approached by the demigods many a times when there were problems. Now, he was approached. Now, one of the things we have to understand that this is the protocol, and this is maintained by the demigods. First of all, they do not have the Sukriti, or they do not have the power to directly approach Vishnu. So they have to go through Brahma, and they know Lord Brahma has that relationship with Lord Vishnu. Lord Brahma is empowered almost on equal footing with Vishnu. So Lord Brahma can approach the Lord. And so this was the protocol. They would always go to Lord Brahma. And we see many an instance throughout the Shastra when they have actually done that. We see how Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi, he took the form of a weeping cow who was overwhelmed by the burden of demoniac kings. And so he approached Lord Brahma, who then led all the demigods and Lord Shiva to the shore of the Milk Ocean. And after they offered the Purusha Shutta prayers, Lord Brahma, he received an oracle, from Lord Vishnu. He received the message from Lord Vishnu, advising him, telling him that he is going to take birth in Dwapar Yuga, in the Yadu dynasty very soon, and he's going to get rid of all those demons. So we see how the demigods go to Lord Brahma. We also see, how, in Satyuga, just before Satyuga, how when the demons, when Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they were wreaking havoc on the universe, and the harassed demigods, they went to Lord Brahma again, who recognized the threat, and they led them to Lord Vishnu. And they all went to Lord Vishnu, and then Vishnu promised again that he's going to come in his Narasimha avatar to deliver both the demons Hiranyakashipu and save the demigods and the entire world. We also see how when Hiranyaksh dragged Mother Earth, or Bhudevi, to the depths of, the Garbhodaka ocean, how Lord Brahma and the distressed demigods, they again gathered on the shore of the Milk Ocean, and they again, in response to the collective prayers of the demigods, Lord Vishnu came as the gigantic Varahadeva in the boar incarnation and rescued Mother Earth. And then, it goes on. We also see how, the demigods, they were threatened by the powerful demon King Bali, who had conquered the heavenly planets. Now, Bali Maharaj, he was the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, but he had conquered the planets, the heavenly planets. And so after being defeated, the demigods again sought refuge under Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma directed the demigods to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, which led directly to Lord Vishnu's appearance as Vaman Deva. the dwarf incarnation. So we see so many times the demigods approaching Lord Brahma so that he could direct them, take them to the Supreme Lord, and they could be saved. So this is quite a common thing. So the demigods, they automatically knew that if there was any problem, Lord Brahma would be able to give them light or shed light on the problem. And if he wasn't able to do that, he would then take them to the Supreme Lord, who will then be able to guide them or tell them the problem. So this is something else which comes out in our verse today. Now, the other thing that we are being mentioned over here is one of the other qualities of Lord Brahma, as being mentioned here, is that that because he is the secondary creator, it is not difficult for him to understand what is happening and why it is happening in both the spiritual world and in the material world. So it has been said that Lord Brahma, he knows everyone's heart and everyone's intentions. And therefore, the demigods requested him to explain the incident of the darkness, and why the pregnancy of deity was causing such anxiety in the universe. So this is another quality of Lord Brahma which is being highlighted by the demigods. Now, you know, we see that we are told that the position of Lord Brahma is very special. And the Supreme Lord personally appoints the person who is going to be Lord Brahma. Now, when from the body of Karnadaksha Vishnu, hundreds and thousands and millions and zillions of universes just come out. For each of those universes, our Lord Brahma is required to do the secondary creation. And ours is one of the smallest universes, and our Lord Brahma has 4 heads. Now we know of the pastime where Lord Brahma goes to Lord Vishnu, and he's surprised to know that there are many, many other Lord Brahmas. He was asked at the doors of which Brahma he was by the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha, and he was surprised, and later the Lord revealed to him that he's just one of the Brahmas, and our Lord Brahma could see that there were other Brahmas surrounding him who had hundreds and thousands and millions of heads. The more heads, why? Because they were in charge of creating in bigger universes. Now, the head is a symbol. What we have in our head, we have our mind, our brain. That is where all the thoughts, the intelligence comes from. The hands and the legs, they are all guided by what is there in our mind. So Lord Brahma is personally chosen by the Lord, and he is the most intelligent jiva in that particular universe. And so he is chosen to be the secondary creator of that universe. And it is said that if the Supreme Lord does not find somebody who is eligible to take up the position of Lord Brahma in that universe, then the Supreme Lord incarnates, and he takes up the position of Lord Brahma in that universe. So there are hundreds and thousands and millions and zillions of Lord Brahmas, one in each universe. Now, all of these Brahmas, so they create, and we see what is their work. Did they do physical work? No. They think, their mind does the work. And so the main quality of Lord Brahma is intelligence. So his intelligence is his quality. And because of that, he's able to do his work. Now, when we compare in this material world, we see jobs, we see people working in offices, or people doing jobs where they basically have to sit through the whole day, or they hardly do any physical work at all. And on the opposite spectrum, right at the end of the other side of the spectrum, we see laborers working away, doing really, really hard physical job the entire day. And then when we compare the money that is received, we see the laborers, the ones doing a lot of physical work, getting way less than the person who's just doing a bit of thinking, sitting the whole day, doing a bit of thinking, directing people, delegating people, but getting lots more money. But why is that so? Because the person who is sitting right at the top, doing a bit of thinking, they have the vision. They have the vision to be able to plan and, to implement the plan, knowing what the result is going to be, what the impact is going to be. So they know the work that they are doing and why it is being done. And they have that understanding. They have the intelligence to understand that. Whereas a person who's doing physical work, they just do the work based on, just the tiny bit of physical work that they have, that they have to do. They do not have the broader vision. Now, that is what Lord Brahma has. Now, we are told that Lord Brahma has been given the qualities of the Paramatma in some ways. In what way? And not just Lord Brahma, some of the demigods, like, and especially, there are 4 people who actually know every single thing that we are doing. They are witness to every single thing we are told. Shastras tell us. And we've already read about 2 of them. We are reading about it, the 3rd person now, and we will be reading about the 4th person later. So we have been told that the Paramatma, Vishnu, he resides in us, and he's a witness to every single thing that we do. He knows everything. Now, in the previous chapters, we've read how Lord Shiva, he's got 3 eyes when Kashyap Muni was speaking to Diti. And Kashyap Muni said that you cannot hide anything from Lord Shiva. He's got 3 eyes. He knows exactly everything that's going on in your life, your actions, your thoughts, everything. And we are being told now that Lord Brahma also knows that. He knows every intention. Our verse today says that the demigods are glorifying him, telling him that you know the intentions of all living entities. So Lord Brahma not only knows what they are doing in action, but he knows the intention. So he can read the minds of all. He knows everything that a jiva is doing. He's also a witness to all of that. And the 4th person who's also able to do that is Yamaraj. And we will be reading about that later on. Now we are told, why is it that, these personalities are able to know every single thing that is being done? Now we can understand Vishnu, being able to do that. He's the Supreme Lord. We can understand Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is not Jiva Tattva, Shiv Tattva, direct expansion of the Supreme Lord. So he's above the Jivas. We can understand why Vishnu and Shiva are able to witness everything that we do and able to know our intentions. But then we come to the Jiva Tattvas, the demigods, Lord Brahma and Yamaraj. why are they able to witness every single thing that we do? Why are they able to read our thoughts, know what is, and they are Trikalagya, they know what is in the past. So the demigods go to Lord Brahma because they know that Lord Brahma knows the reason. So Lord Brahma knows the past. What was the reason? What happened in the past? And because of that past, there is that darkness at the present. And they are anxious. And so they also want to know the future. What is going to happen in the future? And they know that Lord Brahma has the answer to that. So they are Trikalagya, and we have many great sages like Narad Muni, who's also a Trikalagya, who are given this power by the Lord to be able to see the past, the present, and the future. So this part of Kala, this part of time, these empowered jivas are able to they have been empowered by they're able to control this part of the time, not control, but they have access to this part of time where they're able to know the past, the present, and the future. And Lord Brahma knows that. So he is able to just sit and know that. It's just like a judge. So we, where a judge hears both sides of the story. And just sitting over there, he has taken up the position of the judge because he's supposed to understand the intentions as well and then make his judgment. So greater intelligence is given a higher position. And so Lord Brahma is said to be the god of the demigods because he knows even what the demigods are thinking. He knows everything about what all of us are thinking. So we come back to our point as to why is it that Jiva Tattvas like Lord Brahma and Dharmaraj, Yamaraj has been given the power to know about the past, present, and future, has been given the power to be witness to every single thing that all of us are doing, all of us are thinking, just like the Lord knows, just like Lord Shiva knows. And that is because we are told, that is because these two jivas, Lord Brahma and Yamaraj, they have the very, very difficult task of assigning, or rather meting out either good things or bad things to the jivas. So Yamaraj needs to know all the wrong things that have been done by a jiva, or all the good things that have been done by the jiva. So if Yamaraj is able to know the good and the bad things, then he's able to take the jiva either to the hellish planets or allow the jiva to go to the, to remain in the material planet or go to the higher planets. Lord Brahma needs to know the past, present, and future. What has the soul, what has the jiva been doing? Based on that, Lord Brahma needs to assign a body to that individual. So that person, that soul can enter into the body of an animal or a demigod or a sage in the higher planets or a snake in the lower planets. So Lord Brahma needs to know what kind of person that person is to be able to give the body, or even if somebody gets a human body, what circumstances will they be born in a very comfortable position or in a very, very difficult position. So these two people, personalities, Lord Brahma and Lord Yamaraj, they have the difficult task of making a judgment about the future of a soul, what body, if they are coming back, if they're returning to this material world, what type of bodies they are going to get, what, are they going to be punished for their karmas. So a lot of the karma and the karmic balance is decided or is seen by these two people, and they need to make the judgment on that. And so Lord Brahma and Yamaraj also, they also have the ability to witness every single thing that we are doing. And so that is the reason we are told as the last point in our verse that Lord Brahma is able to understand. He's able to understand everyone's intentions. And so that is the reason he was asked to explain what the reason is, because, why is there darkness? So in conclusion, there are only a couple of points which we might need to just briefly dwell upon. That yes, we've learned about all these qualities of Lord Brahma, but also let's not forget the fact that, even during total darkness, total eclipse, there is that light that comes through. So the demigods, they are very anxious because deity's pregnancy is going to cause havoc in society. They are anxious. They want that light from Lord Brahma. But there is that, even in the darkest of moments, there is that, there's the promise of light, if not through Lord Brahma, but then from the Lord himself. And they know that is the reason, they know they have that way forward. So even in darkness, we learn from the demigods that all is not lost. There is always that silver lining. There is always that light because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is light. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not darkness. So even in the darkest of moments, we need to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, as the demigods did. They went to Lord Brahma, and then they knew if Lord Brahma, as the representative of the Supreme Lord, cannot shed light, they would then go to the Supreme Lord. Secondly, we also see that when they approach Lord Brahma, and we've been seeing that in the first few verses as well, they did not come to Lord Brahma and immediately start talking about their anxieties. No, what did they do? They started glorifying Lord Brahma first. And that is something which we need to learn. When we go for our prayers, we go in front of the Lord, or Radharani, Krishna, or any God. We go in front of the God, and the first thing we do is we start talking, we start moaning, we start talking about all our problems. This is what, can I have this? I'm going through so many difficulties, etc. As if, we've just come in front of the Lord only to, give all our problems to him, not acknowledging all the good things that they've done for us, the Lord has done for us. So we see throughout the Shastras, we see that whenever devotees approach the Lord, the very first thing that they do is they glorify the Lord. And that is the right way to pray. We do our prayers, we glorify, we thank the Lord for all that he has done us. We thank or we glorify the Lord to say all the great qualities of the Lord. And then we can talk about, the problems we have. And that is what the demigods are doing as well. So they are glorifying Lord Brahma first before they even touch upon, Lord Brahma knows why they've come to him. But even then, the demigods, they come to him, they glorify Lord Brahma first before they actually start talking about their anxiety as to why there is darkness. Now, the other thing which we need to keep in mind is that Lord Brahma, the demigods come to Lord Brahma for wisdom. So just like in our daily lives, we don't have the vision to know the absolute truth. So our guide is the bona fide devotee, the true devotee, the pure devotee, the Shastra's guru. So they can shed light when we have trouble in our daily life. And Lord Brahma is that wisdom, the light to the demigods. And we see so many times in the Shastras as well, how Lord Brahma has helped the demigods. We see how King Prithu, and we'll read about King Prithu later, how he got into a fight with Indra, because King Prithu was also a part incarnation of the Supreme Lord. He was doing horse sacrifices, Ashwamedha Yagna, and he was about to, it's said that if one performs 100 Ashwamedha Yagnas, they become qualified to be able to take up the position of Indra. And so Indra got very, very insecure. And so every single time King Prithu would want to do the 100th yagna, Indra just stole the horse. And so Prithu and Indra, they had a great fight. And then Lord Brahma comes and he advises King Prithu and says, look, you're actually on the right, you're doing the right thing, but however, also think about your actions to Indra. He's a devotee, but he's under the mode of ignorance. So he's doing the wrong things. And he will, there will be consequences for it. And he will have to suffer it. Because nothing one does, every single action we do, every single one of them, they have a return, they have a result, either good or bad. But because King Prithu, so Lord Brahma tells him that you're the wiser person, so you stop it. So think of the consequences. Indra knows what might happen, but he's not stopping. But you are wiser, you stop it. And just let go, because nothing, with this, there's only going to be destruction if this continues. So Brahma gives that higher perspective to Prithu. He can give that wisdom to Prithu. And so we see the demigods glorifying Lord Brahma for many reasons. And these are some of the reasons touched upon or mentioned in our verse today, about Brahma's wisdom, about Brahma being the superior of the demigods, about Lord Brahma being a part incarnation or a Shakti avatar or Guna avatar of the Lord, about Lord Brahma being able to shed light, and ultimately Lord Brahma knowing the intentions of every single jiva, being able to understand what was the past, what's the present, what's the future of a situation or a thing or a person. And he's a Trikalagya, and he's a witness to every single thing that we do and think, including that of the demigods. So these are some of the qualities of Lord Brahma that has been touched upon in our verse today. So with that, I conclude our discussion today. If I've made any mistakes, please do forgive me. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for taking us through that discourse and knowing so much about Lord Brahma. I've learned today that he's actually able to witness. I never knew that. I thought it was just Yamaraj and Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. And even Brahma is part of them. Yeah, thank you. Really touching so much on the qualities of Lord Brahma so that we can actually know. And also even teaching us how
I
to pray.
can't hear you
How to
properly.
pray.
I'm really sorry, Prabhuji. I can't hear you properly.
Oh my, I think I'm having some difficulty with my internet. I hope.
Sorry,
I'm
Prabhuji.
really sorry about that. Yes. But I was saying thank you so much for even teaching us how to pray,
Thank you for the
how to
opportunity.
approach. Yes. Is there anyone else who would like to comment for a question?
Yeah, sure. If there are any questions or comments, any corrections?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for the amazing class. I just had one question. Um, is when you're chanting, is it okay to have a vision of your Maharaj, your Guru Maharaj? Is it okay to visualize your Guru Maharaj when while chanting if it helps you, focus? Thank you.
Yes, Mahidi, absolutely. I mean, my Guruji always says that, sometimes it's not possible because the mind is so fickle, it just travels all over. So remembering your Guruji, asking strength from your Guruji and then doing your chanting actually makes it better and stronger as well because you've got the power of Guruji. And that is the reason that we always chant the names of the Panchatattva before we start our chanting. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Because even if someone does not have the Guru, there's this Panchatattva who gives us the strength to be able to hold on to the names of Radharani and Krishna, to the holy names. They give the strength. So they are also our gurus. Nityananda, our Lord Nityananda is the Adi Guru. So we say their names, but it's also better. And it's actually wonderful to be able to remember your spiritual master, remember him, visualize him, and then go into your chanting. That actually makes your chanting stronger and focuses your mind better.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
If there's no other question, I'd like to kindly request Chandi Mataji, are you able to end the session for us today? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare.
Sorry, yes. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Grantad Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Her Grace Panchali Kar Mataji ki.
Yeah.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Mataji's and Prabhuji's. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the amazing class. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.